The only things you really need as a skateboarder are a skateboard, some skate shoes, and maybe a few friends, but that's about it. With that said, there are a few things that you can buy that will make skateboarding even better than it already is. In this video, we're going to be going over things that every skateboarder should have. Links to all of these items are going to be in the description, but if you have the option, always buy from your local skate shop when you can. I made a video like this about a year ago, and you guys left a ton of great suggestions on it, so I decided to make an updated version. If you have any more suggestions, which I'm sure a lot of you do, go ahead and leave it in the comments so other people can see it. Be sure to leave a like on the video, and with that said, let's get right into it. One of the best investments you can make as a skateboarder is buying a good pair of insoles. Unless you happen to get the chance to buy Amazon stock in the late 90s, in which case that might have been a slightly better investment. Even some of the best skate shoes come with pretty bad insoles, so having a nice pair that you can swap out will definitely help you in the long run. If you've ever experienced a heel bruise, which most skateboarders have, then you know just how useful insoles can be. Also, every skateboarder over the age of 40 constantly talks about how they have pain in their ankles, knees, and back.
I broke my back.
What do you mean by that?
My back is broken.
What, a vertebrae or what portion?
Spinal.
And I'm sure that having good insoles can at least somewhat prevent a lot of those problems. By far, some of the best insoles for skateboarding are made by Footprint, which is one of the only companies that makes insoles specifically for skating. They're the insoles that Jaws uses, and if they can help him jump down a 25 set, it's safe to say that they can handle whatever it is that the rest of us are skating. Footprint insoles can be a bit expensive compared to generic insoles, and there are a couple of good options that are slightly cheaper, but if you can afford it, it's worth it to pay a little more for a proper set. I'll leave links to a couple of good options that are slightly cheaper, but again, if you have the money for it, you're better off getting a nicer pair. Next up on the list is a massage gun. Now realistically, every skateboarder doesn't need a massage gun, but they're definitely nice to have. After all, who doesn't like a nice massage? Some people use them to help loosen up their muscles before they go skate, but they're also great to use whenever you're done skating too. When you get done skating, or even just working out in general, your muscles are usually pretty sore, and unless you can get one of your boys to give you a massage gun is the next best thing. The most well-known brand is Theragun, but they are kind of expensive, and there's tons of other more affordable options that are good too.
I'm 31 now. I mean, I've been skating since 13, 14. That's a long time. If you take care of yourself, you can skate forever.
Another thing that all skateboarders should have is a camera. Ever since skateboarding first became popular, filming skate videos has been a major part of skating. Now most groups of skaters have a designated filmer who has a camera, but it's still nice to have a camera setup of your own. There's a lot of great cameras for skateboarding out there, even if you don't have a really big budget. You can get a GoPro for a few $100s, or even just invest in a gimbal and film with your phone. Regardless if you have a $1,000 camera setup or just an old camera phone, getting clip skating is a lot of fun, so it's good to keep a camera handy.
Yeah, D. Woo! Yo!
Something that every skateboarder should keep in their bag is a tube of shoe goo. Shoe goo is an adhesive meant to repair ripped shoes, and it's one of the most useful things that skateboarders can buy. A lot of skate shoes will get a hole in them before the shoe is really done, and a little bit of shoe goo can really stretch the lifespan of a shoe, which will end up saving you a ton of money. In addition to shoe goo, it's also good to keep some extra laces and super glue, which can also help prolong the life of a shoe.
Skating a shoe like without the shoe goo, I probably would have skated this pair for about a month, but after applying the shoe goo a couple of times, I'd say I almost doubled the lifespan.
Having a set of pads, a helmet, and even a few braces is something that every skateboarder should consider. Most skateboarders don't wear pads, but in the off chance that you decide to go to a skate park that requires them, or even just decide that you want to start wearing them, it's nice to have your own instead of having to rent some, because let's be real, those things get really sweaty and gross, and chances are the skate park employees don't really care if they get cleaned or not. When it comes to buying braces, this is more so just to have in case you ever get hurt and need something to help you out while you heal up. Ankle braces, wrist braces, and knee braces can all be really useful, and they really don't cost that much either. Even though pads and braces aren't the coolest things in skateboarding, they do have their place and they can definitely be useful. Other Other than their board and shoes, arguably the most important thing for every skateboarder to have is wax. Without wax, half of the tricks you can do on a skateboard are way harder and sometimes even impossible. Most name brand wax isn't expensive to buy, but if you still want to save a few dollars, you can always use paraffin wax, which happens to work really well for skating. Up next is a skate tool. A skate tool is probably the most useful skateboarding accessory you can have. If you can think of something better that skateboarders should have, by all means leave it in the comments, but a skate tool is pretty essential. Whether you're setting up a new board or just tightening things up on your current board, a skate tool can really come in handy. There's a lot of different skate tools out there, and even though some can be expensive, most of them only cost around $20 and they have everything you need. Instead of carrying around a screwdriver and 3 different wrenches, you can get a skate tool that has all of that and can even fit in your pocket. If you have the room for it, keeping a first aid kit can be a pretty good idea for a lot of skateboarders. Now, if you don't have a car, this makes it a little less practical, but if you do, then it's not too hard to just toss it in your trunk just in case. If I had to guess, I'd say 99.9% of skateboarders don't use any type of bandage or disinfectant when they get hurt, but it's good to at least have the option. Some skate spots can be pretty grimy, and it might not be a terrible idea to at least clean out your cuts if you happen to fall. I know it's not the coolest thing to whip out a band-aid at the skate spot, but a lot of people recommended this in the comments, and honestly, it really couldn't hurt to at least keep some sort of first aid kit handy. For any skateboarder with a car, a cooler is a great thing to bring with you on sessions. Now, full disclaimer, it does take up a lot of real estate in the trunk, but nothing beats having some cold drinks on standby when you're out skating. Even though it doesn't have anything to do with skateboarding specifically, if you think about it, a cooler is actually a pretty practical thing to keep in your car. Rather than having to leave the session just to go get some water, it's way better to just have something to drink nearby. A skateboard rack is one of the most useful things you can buy as a skateboarder. They can help you keep your boards organized, free up some floor space, and prevent your walls from getting wheel marks on them, which your landlord/parents will definitely appreciate. Skateboard racks come in every shape and size, so when it comes to choosing one, it really just depends on what you're looking for. Next on the list is a spare parts kit. Sooner or later, something on your board is going to break, and no one wants their session to get shut down early if it doesn't have to. The main things you need in a spare parts kit are extra bearings, hardware, and bushings, but if you really want to go above and beyond, it can also be good to keep an extra deck just in case.
Are you serious? Come out to my park, missing tricks left and right? That's a 50th trick you've missed in a row. You know what? You're done, man. You're done, all right? You're out of here, okay? You gotta skate if you're skating in my park and have some skills.
Another solid investment for most skateboarders is a skateboard backpack. The only difference between a skateboard backpack and a normal one is that a skateboard backpack can hold a board, but just that little difference can really come in handy. Whenever you're traveling, or even if you just have your hands full, having the option to strap your board to your backpack is really nice to have.
I got the compass! Ah!
Even though they're not directly related to skateboarding, a portable speaker and a portable charger are some pretty useful things for skateboarders to keep in their bag. It's always nice to be able to play some music at a session, and since most skateboarders spend a lot of their day outside without any access to power outlets, keeping a portable charger on you can definitely be worthwhile. Skateboarders are known for living a pretty simple life, and they really don't need a lot to get by. As long as they have their skateboard and some friends, they're usually pretty content with life. With that in mind, there are things that you can buy to make skateboarding even better than it already is, and these are just a few of the things that I like to have when I go skating. If you have any suggestions of your own, leave them in the comments to help other people out. If you made it this far in the video, you probably didn't hate it, so go ahead and leave a like. And with that said, thanks for watching.